Welcome, everybody. It's Scott here from Woke Societies. How's everyone doing tonight? It is a crazy day. Waiting for this interview to come, and here we are, and I'm so excited to have Kate with us tonight. It's going to be an amazing time, and we're just going to be talking about her story, red pill stuff, and if you guys didn't notice, Q dropped probably, I think, 6 or 7 drops. And if you guys can right now for me, let me know how the audio sounds to make sure this all sounds kosher. Let me hop in over there real quick. Beautiful. Okay, we almost have 500 people here already, which is fantastic. Give me a 5-5 in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, if the audio is sounding pretty good. Let me know. So yes, guys, we're going to bring over Kate in just a moment here. We're just going to let everyone gather around. Gather around the table, get your drinks, get your water, whatever it is you do to relax yourself on this cozy Friday night. And thank you to the mods out there. You guys are always appreciated. I see For True Freedom, Jojo. I see my brother in here, beautiful. And I think Sean the Hammer will be in here at some point. And Christina Love, thank you so much for being here. You guys are fantastic. So yeah, guys, Q came back. Everyone can calm down now. Everyone was asking, is Q going to disappear for another 3 months like they did last summer? Not the case. They are back, and they did not hold back at all. We got some new D-Class with Peter Strzok. And possibly now we're hearing of a huge cyber attack coming the day after the election. As to what Q is pointing to, we're not sure. This could be disinformation, but we're gonna dive into the Q drops more towards the end of the episode. I'm gonna bring down the music just a little bit here, and everyone let me know if you guys can hear the audio and give me a 5-5 on that. All right. There we go. Okay, the main screen's up. All right, guys, so everyone can see us. Everyone say hello to Kate from Kate, the Kate Awakening. By the way, I love that name. That's a perfect name for it's a perfect branding name. Like, you can't get any better than that.
It's pretty cheesy, but it works.
Hey, it works. It definitely works. So everyone just let me know how the audio sounds. Hey Todd, if you're out there, give me a text just to make sure here. Everyone's saying it sounds pretty good. Just making sure. Doing interviews on this system is new, so everything's new right now. Just want to make sure we're all good. All right. We already got 693 people here. It's still climbing. Thank you guys for doing that. If you guys can right now, go in the description below. I have Kate's Twitter and YouTube. Go subscribe and follow her. She is well known throughout the QAnon world, the Red Pill world. Everyone knows her. If you haven't subscribed already or followed her, please do so now. And if the mods can for me, please share her links along with the other links that you normally share and get her message out there. Get it all out there. I appreciate that. All right, okay, so yeah, we're gonna have another minute here. So yeah, there's a lot of things happening right now. We could probably talk for hours about everything going on with Ghislaine Maxwell, these riots. I think you're out in West Coast, right?
Sorry,
you're West Coast. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona.
You're Arizona. Oh boy, did they require your state to do the mandated mask?
Yes,
they did.
I was so surprised. Yeah, just a couple weeks ago. And we're typically pretty good with this stuff, but yeah, I was very, very upset. Actually, my gym stayed open. Whoever owns my gym is 100% a patriot, because they opened up as soon as they could after the initial shutdown. And then when everybody else was like encouraging people to wear masks, they never made us wear masks.
Wow.
Then the other day, the governor actually mandated that all bars, gyms, and a few other kinds of businesses close their doors. And he was like, nope. And he stayed, but I guess the police went there and like forced him to shut down, but he stayed open for another week and wasn't making anybody wear masks. So I was like, at least I had my gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Our gyms over here, they've been closed probably since March. There have been no gyms out here. I live in New York, and they haven't done, of all the states, the worst hit state, I thought New York would be the first ones to do a mandated mask law, but they haven't. And that's why I'm almost laughing, because all these other states that really didn't get hit as bad, they're going like, they're taking this to the next level. And the timing of it is just so so sketchy. So I'm going to try to work on Kate's audio here. Everyone's saying it's a little bit low, but it's all right. Let me see if I can bring it up here. All right.
Sorry, guys. Let me see. I will speak up.
There we go. Okay.
Maybe if I hold it like this.
All right. Let's try that.
I'm working with this really high-tech equipment.
It's all right.
Like $9 earbuds. So
That's all right.
I got nice earbuds, and then I did an interview with it, and they sounded terrible. I feel like I was just listening to my neck.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that, right?
I sounded like the adults on the Peanuts, like that, wah, 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 wah.
Yeah,
That's what I sounded like.
Right.
So.
All right, guys. It's the level is up a little bit more, so hopefully it sounds okay out there. I think, let's see. Let me see here. Okay, we're good now. Perfect. Very, very good. All right, guys. So I'm going to play my intro here. We're going to get this party started. And there's almost 1,000 people here already, Kate, to come see, which is fantastic. I haven't done an interview in a while, so this is a great turnout already. So we're going to start the show, guys. I'm going to play the intro, and we'll get this interview underway. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans they conceal. Grab your flashlight, it's time to go down the rabbit hole. It's dark and hell is hot, dealing with satanic souls. The tide is turning, patriots are now in control. Apply aggressive pressure right now until they fold. Stay woke, open up your eyes and keep them peeled. All they do is lie, realize not everything is real. Through Project Looking Glass, the future is revealed. Future proves past, but there won't be any deals. Woke society's fam, you know it's time to go. Grab your popcorn, sit back now, enjoy the show. Severe and non on the mic, so come on, enjoy the flow. The wave is rising and you know it's only gonna grow.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for waiting around for everyone to get here. This is why I wait. Everyone shows up late to the party as always. So we already have over 1,000 people here. Thank you so much for everyone showing up tonight. Hit that like button, like, share, comment, let everyone know we are the news now. We have so much to talk about tonight. And again, guys, go down the links in description below. Go follow, go subscribe, go like, go do whatever you got to do on Kate's social media and go follow her. She's a fantastic patriot here, and we're all on the same page trying to do the same thing. So, Kate, it is so wonderful to have you here. I knew our paths would cross at some point, and it's just surreal to me that I'm sitting here talking to you because literally, I don't know if you know anything about my story, but I'm not going to go into that. But literally 2 years ago, I would have been making fun of you guys, red pill methods. I was that guy making fun of Trump supporters, even though I wasn't into politics at all. I was just part of I was inside the matrix. I was sipping that Democrat Kool-Aid. And now I'm here, and I remember seeing you on Edge of Wonder. I think it had to have been over a year ago at this point. And I remember you were one of the first people I saw interviewed on that show. And your story it blew my mind because I didn't think the evilness could be so infiltrated in things I never thought were possible. And your story just really blew my mind. And I'm like, man, it'd be really cool to interview her one day. And here we are. So it's just I'm just so excited to do this. And I'm thankful that Methods linked us up here. So it's going to be a great conversation. I can't wait to get this started. So for the people that don't know you, let's just talk about what's your story? Like I guess my first question would be what got you to what red pilled you essentially? What got you started down this road?
I got red pilled with the pizza conspiracy actually 2 years ago. So I was like you, totally asleep and not really paying attention, but I was kind of into conspiracy theories. And I was actually in a conspiracy theory group on Facebook. And somehow that topic came up and I ended up researching it for the first time, even though I had heard about it for years. I had avoided looking into it, I guess. And really, literally just within a single weekend, I did all of the research into that, changed me completely. I was completely lost. I went through that massive dark night of the soul where I was just, I don't know what to do. Like I am a changed person now, but the entire world is still operating as if we're supposed to still go on. And somehow on that third day, I came across QAnon and a description of what it was. This was in February of 2018. So it was only a few months after Q had started posting. And I just instantly knew. It just just struck something in me. And I knew that it just felt right. And then I started looking into it, and the rest is history. I mean, I went hard and fast.
Hard and fast, right? Yeah, that's kind of how it was with me as well. Like, I came across, I was watching Gaia, and I came across Corey Good and David Wilcock, and I'd never heard of them before. And then I came across Jordan Sather, and then the guys from Edge of Wonder. And I came across Q, and I was still trying to hold on to my Matrix world, because I'm like, this cannot be real. Like, what got me onto Trump was I still voted for Trump because I knew enough to not vote for Hillary, even though I didn't follow politics. I didn't really care about any of this stuff. But what really caught my attention was how bad the mainstream media attacked this man so viciously and from all fronts. And my only issue with all of it was, why is there no other alternate opinion or other news about this man? It's a full on frontal attack from every direction. And for me, that just didn't make sense. And I lived in New York my entire life, and I never had a negative image of Donald Trump, and he was in the city all the time. So it didn't make any sense to me where all this negative press was coming from. And now with all the truth bombs coming out, now we know why. But going into QAnon and all that stuff, was there like a Q drop that comes to mind that really opened your mind, or was it just a sequence of reading it all, or what was it?
It was honestly, and I can't remember who it was that I found now, but the initial, however I came across Q, I remember it was a podcast with two guys talking, but I don't know who it was. These could be people I'm friends with now. I don't know. I don't remember. Right. But one guy was explaining what Q was to the other, and his explanation was so good. And like I said, it just started pinging me. I guess part of it was that I needed that hope after what I had just researched. So it was like I was clinging to it for the reason that finally there was a light at the end of the tunnel, but also everything was just kind of snapping into place. It was like reality vertigo. Those scenes in movies where they zoom in on somebody, but they're also somehow focusing out and everything just goes, that's exactly what it was for me when I was hearing about Q. And so I was kind of sold right away, but obviously still, I was still using my discernment, and it took me a few months to really get the swing of things and really understand how Q operates and really what their purpose is. It goes beyond just this shadow civil war and, working with Trump and taking down the deep state. It is this operation to actually give us the tools to find information ourselves, to no longer rely on being spoon-fed that information. And once I started to see that happening in real life with my own eyes, the difference between, so as soon as I found out about Q, I went on Twitter immediately and I did a QAnon hashtag search. Yep. And I started following literally every person that I could that was talking about Q. And at the time, it was only 45 people that I found. I remember Jordan Sather was one of them. Yep. And a few other people. And I just, there's such a difference now between what the conversation is and the voice of the community, just even in the last 2 years. Right. It's incredible.
It really is, because I remember that new Q drop that came out. They said the numbers that are out there now, it was 30 million whenever they were previously talking about whatever drop it was. It was from last year, it was 30 million was the amount of times QAnon was being searched on Twitter, the followers. And they said the numbers now that we have dwarf those numbers right now. And to me, that's if they're saying 30 million is being dwarfed, I'm thinking it's got to be in the billions as far as search and just people that generally want to know what QAnon is and what this movement's about. And this is the great thing that I'm seeing now. So many people are getting red pilled in so many different ways. And the community has definitely grown 10, 20 fold. We don't really know what the number is. I don't know if we're ever going to really know what the number is, but you can definitely tell even on Twitter. I remember you talking about, there wasn't in the beginning, even when I was coming across all this stuff, I didn't really know who to follow at this point because I was still sketched out by QAnon. I'm how can this possibly be some anonymous dude on a board and they're going to help us save the world? This to me, this sounds like it's too much. And I was always willing to go as far for 9/11. I knew 9/11 was an inside job, but after that, I really kind of just went under the rug. So for me, it was this was over the top 9/11 stuff. So, But after reading more and more and more in drops, I read from right from the beginning all the way to wherever it was current. And the one that hit me hard was Project Looking Glass, because it started to tie in UFO stuff. And I really had a big spiritual awakening the year before, which led to me ultimately unplugging from the Matrix, as I always like to say it. But that really clicked for me, because there was something that wasn't, like you said, just about Trump, just about Republicans, or just about a certain side. This is literally about everybody coming together and getting behind a united front to literally save our country. Because a year ago, I mean, would anyone say we were going through what we're going through right now? A pandemic, no. The riots, all this stuff. And Q literally did say, like, they're going to go all out on this, all assets deployed. So it's just really crazy to see where it's come. So I would love to know, like, where do you see this movement going? And, like, I don't know, where do you see it coming in the next 4 months? What do you think? Anything crazy is going to happen? Like, okay, let me ask you first. Who do you think is going to be the first big arrest? I always love asking people this.
I kind of think, so what Q said was that the first indictment would send shockwaves, right? I feel like Ghislaine might be that exact indictment, because she literally will. I think what we're finding out now was she was the bigger fish than even Epstein.
I agree. So
she is a massive domino that has the potential to lead to everything. Literally, it's all connected anyway. So it has the possibility. And now, when I first heard that, I think a lot of us did the same thing. We were thinking, okay, there's going to be an arrest that literally, when people see this person getting frog walked, it is just going to like pop everybody open. And so in my mind, I was like thinking either Obama or the Pope, because those are two people recognized worldwide that would really, I mean, you could talk about Tom Hanks, you could talk about somebody within our CIA, FBI, but most of the world doesn't know who John Brennan is, or, right, Peter Strzok or whatever. So, and even Tom Hanks, like, he's very beloved, but it's also like, I mean, we all kind of went through this with Bill Cosby. Like, yeah, Bill Cosby, that was a heartbreak for me, massively. I grew up watching the Cosby Show. He was a total hero to me, not just because of his on-screen persona, but I really genuinely thought he was a good man.
Right.
And so I don't think that's big enough. It really would have to be something massive, or it would have to be a person that is going to massively take down everybody. A
bunch of people, right? Yeah, a lot of people in the chat are saying Obama, Soros. I mean, I think Soros is going to go to Russia. Russia's got to be pissed, because it's funny, because I feel like Russia's kind of in the background, like, hey, can you guys stop blaming me for all this shit? Like, I got nothing to we got nothing to do with this.
Totally. But meanwhile, it seems like Putin is clear.
Yeah.
So I don't really think, I kind of feel like Putin is in on this. I think they're kind of doing their own thing. I don't think they're necessarily like, I don't think he's necessarily Trump's best friend, but like, I think what happened is a lot of these people had been watching this corruption happen worldwide, and they all hated it for their own reasons. Some of those were super benevolent reasons, and some of them maybe were not such benevolent reasons. But a lot of these key players that we're seeing, like, look what happened in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's benefiting them as well. I don't really see a place in the world that is going to, number one, take Soros, or number two, have that work. Like, at some point, there's nowhere to run to, baby.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that, people are saying in the chat that Soros is probably going to die before he gets arrested anyways, because I think he's got to be in his 90s by now. But I was always thinking, if Ghislaine wasn't it's got to be like a Bill Clinton or Obama first, because I think either one of those could drop. Either one could be dropped right now. Hey, I think I see the real Severe. What's up, Severe? Thanks for joining tonight, man. Good to see you here. I think it would definitely have to be either like a Bill Clinton or Obama, because everything going on with Ghislaine Maxwell right now. So before, I always thought Ghislaine was she was already arrested when Epstein got arrested. I didn't think that a couple weeks ago, to be honest, because every report we got was that Ghislaine was dodging authorities. She was a master at getting away and hiding herself. And I'm just like, how is this possible? How is that? And the last time I heard she was like in France, and then she ended up in Delaware. And I think that France report was false. But the authorities are being so quiet-lipped about what led up to that arrest. And I watched that news, the press conference when the new Attorney General for the Southern District of New York was breaking everything down, and she just shut down any kind of question that was coming up about what led up to it. So for me, that the fact that they're being hush hush about it kind of signifies to me that there was operations probably going. Let me just put this out there, everybody. There is no sauce for this. This is pure speculation. I just think that she was probably maybe getting other pedophiles, other people on tape and netting them all in at the same time. So that's honestly what I think is going on right now. And it's just, I think it's no coincidence that we have the Ghislaine Maxwell story and then we have everything going on with Spygate literally almost at the same time. And we know Spygate is supposedly that's going to be ending, the whole investigation is going to be ending by the end of the summer. So that's why I'm saying, like, literally for me, it could be anybody at this point, because I think Trump really needs at least one solid, at least an indictment before this election. I think just to calm people down, just to say something. There's a lot of people out there that it drives me crazy. They're still saying nothing is happening. And literally, I can find it every day, guys. There's literally so much happening every single day. But at least to a lot of the normies, like let's throw them a bone a little bit. Let's give them something to chew on. And maybe they'll ask, well, why did this person get arrested? And then the rest will follow. So I just love asking that question. I love to know what people think will get arrested first.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. But I mean, Epstein was already a big bone for us because, well, at least for me, because I remember going over to my mother's house and telling her about all this wacky Q stuff that I was finding out about. And I was talking about Jeffrey Epstein. I was like, this guy, and I was telling her the whole story. So that was actually my mother's big red pill. She's like, you were right. I remember you sitting in my living room 2 years ago and telling me this stuff. And I thought, that is crazy. And here it is. That's no longer a conspiracy theory. We have that right in our faces now. So I'm with you. I kind of believe, not only do I believe that Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested probably around the same time as Epstein, I actually believe that every single one of these people have had a team of people on their ass since at least when Trump took the presidency. At least, if you think about it, there's no room to make a mistake here. There's no room to let any of these people get away. Yep. Some of me kind of subscribes to possibly arrests have already been made. Like, if you think about it, you give people the choice, like, who knows we already know that the technology they have is light years beyond whatever we understand.
Absolutely.
There could be technology, they could like chip them and be like, listen, one wrong move and it's heart attack city.
Right.
And in that way, you get these people out there and maybe they're honeypots to get other people, or maybe they are being used as actors to show this narrative unfold for all of these sleeping people that literally need to see it for themselves in order to wake up. It's one thing to tell people, and Q says this all the time. It's one thing to tell people something, but it's another for them to see it for themselves. Look how much these people are seeing. That is why we're growing exponentially. And we're getting so many new people.
I 100% agree. And that's the thing, like when I came across all this stuff, completely red pilling myself, jumping into this movement full time and everything, like it took me, I was in a dark place for like a month because it took me a while to get used to the idea that this is the world I thought I was living in was not what I thought it was. And it can get overwhelming. And at the same time, like, I don't know if you went through this, but when I started to go through all this, like, I felt like I couldn't even talk to my friends. I couldn't talk to my family. I'm like, they're going to think I'm crazy. And if I even tell them, because you have to remember, the crowd I was hanging out with was not any kind of anti-Trump. And then to have this completely do this 180, and here I am saying, no, really, Trump's really not that bad. He's doing all this stuff. It was just, I felt like I'm going to lose everything. But in the long run, I felt better that I made that decision. And honestly, Epstein was one of the things that I call my friends normies. That really woke them up, especially when he supposedly killed himself. That was for him getting arrested. And I said, look, listen, literally, Q was talking about Epstein before anybody else was. Literally, I think a year or two beforehand, those pictures on qmap.pub of the island, they were the only ones talking about that. And then literally a year later in July, he gets arrested. And then almost a year to the day, Ghislaine Maxwell this year gets arrested. And it was no coincidence when they got rid of that attorney general that was blocking and stonewalling cases in New York City. And I called it a week beforehand. I said, literally, I'm like, guys, expect something big to happen now, because I believe that guy was stonewalling everybody. And he's ahead of the Anthony Weiner case. The
9/11, Ukraine,
yes.
a uranium one.
Right, and he's got a hold of all this.
Epstein's residence is. Soros has a residence there. Anthony Weiner, Weinstein has a residence there. There are all of these things, and it's so important again to these people that are saying nothing's happening. Nothing. I think it was 7 or 9 days before Ghislaine Maxwell got arrested was when this AG got forced out, and literally forced out. By the way, remember he tried to stay. It was really weird because it's not the kind of behavior you're used to seeing of like high level people. Like he was making him that was a very big indication to me that these people will literally they don't even have a choice. They're just acting like animals backed into a corner.
And that's what I try to tell people. Like there are layers to this darkness, to this swamp that we always refer to these people as. They're like, would anyone really think about offhand that maybe there's an attorney general that nobody's really talking about, no one knows his name, but he's literally the man that's blocking the progress of all these cases? Because I remember after Epstein killed himself, there was a lot of backlash from people saying, Q, why did you just let this go as soon as he killed himself, essentially? Like, where are the drops? Like, what happened? And I really believe people need to understand that this darkness goes back centuries, and it takes time. It really takes time to unfold this, and they're doing it the legal way too. They're not doing shady things. They're not doing backdoor deals. They're not doing any of this. So the stuff takes time, and literally it has to be perfect. Everything has to be at the exact right time. And if it's not, it's all going to blow up, and it's going to be for nothing. So that's what I'm telling people. Like, there is stuff literally happening every day, and there's a lot to be encouraged with all the negative news that we deal with on a daily basis. There is always something encouraging to come out of this. So as much as people I think on both sides or wherever you want to look, everybody I think is starting to wake up to the fact that the news is fake and that we're all being lied to and manipulated in some way. But even the people that are super clear on that are still somehow waiting for the nightly news to flash, have a ticker and be like breaking news. All of this stuff connects. And so they can be like, see, okay, this is big, but it's big. You just have to be able to tell yourself that and make the connections yourself. We're seeing it. We're getting the news. We're just not getting it emphasized the way that we're used to getting things emphasized. Exactly. And I've been through this myself, talking to family and friends. You can literally lay out the best information, facts, whatever it is, and people literally still tell you, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Now, people seeing what happened out with Chaz out in Portland, I think Trump allowed all these things to happen to say, is this the country? Is this what you want your country to look like? And right before I quit my job, I was down in New York City, and I saw the carnage that the news refuses to this day to show. I saw the part of the Bronx, and it looked like a war zone. It was completely destroyed. And I saw some Antifa and Black Lives Matter walking around. And according to AOC, they're stealing bread. But guess what? I didn't see one loaf of bread in any of those people's hands. I saw Nike shoes. I saw TVs. I saw all that stuff. That's what I saw. And literally, I've seen the videos on Twitter of Manhattan, the streets, the businesses are destroyed. And the really sad part is these Democrat governors allowed all this to happen. And you can tell it's coordinated. Literally every city that this happened to is Democrat run. That's not a coincidence. And when you tell people that, they're still in refusal. But I get messages almost every single day from random people saying, I've been a longtime Democrat, and now they're going to be voting for Trump because either they don't like Joe Biden, or they're actually seeing the light and seeing where this country could have gone. So it's going to be really interesting. I thought it was cool. Just a few weeks ago, Trump was in Arizona giving a speech. And one of the things he said during it was, so at any time he has the power and the authority to come into these cities and, with all of this stuff happening, but he is letting these things unfold because it is highlighting this corruption. But he actually made a statement during this about Chaz saying, they give me the green light. I will get the National Guard in there and they'll clean it up in less than an hour. Right. Sure enough, the news came out. As soon as they did that, he sent in the National Guard. It was less than an hour. They had that thing cleaned up. Amazing. That's why I love this president. When he speaks, I actually believe what he says. The first time I could ever vote, I was 18. I voted for Obama. I voted for Obama in 2008. And I don't know what happened in 2012, but I remember voting for him, and I remember never believing politicians in general, even when Bush was in office. I just remember just never really believing anything they say. And for me, this is the first time I actually look at a president and actually trust what the man says. And I actually believe he has our interests, like America first. And I think too, a lot of people in general are not used to having a president that truly cared about them in so long since before Bush. Because we went from Daddy Bush to Clinton, right to George, and then we had 8 years of Obama. Like all that corruption wrapped in four men. Like I don't think the country is used to having a man that deeply cares and loves his country, and I think it's almost like a side effect that they're angry that he does care. It's just really funny to see.
Yeah, it is. And especially Obama was the most polished of all of them, right? I really think that he was, when I see Obama and I see his like glowing smile and like the way he kind of comes across as this cool guy, I see through and through CIA.
That's what you see.
I'm like, you were just like, he was molded, you know?
Yeah.
And Trump is the opposite of that. He is like a bull in a china shop.
Yep.
So yeah, there's no wonder that there's like this very stark difference in the two of them.
It's really crazy. He's a snake. Like knowing what I know now, like, man, that guy was so slick. And like you said, you're right. He was trained. I think Q talked about him coming from the farm, right? Him and Anderson Cooper are all from the same group, and they were all kind of groomed to what they wanted to be. Let me just hop over to the chat real quick. We are at 2,300 viewers. You guys are amazing. That's awesome. Give this episode a like, share, comment, let everyone know about what's going on right now. And again, guys, go follow Kate on Twitter and go subscribe to her YouTube. All the links are in the description below. And if you guys have any questions for Kate too, we'll try to get those in at the end there. So say hi, everybody. All right. So Kate, where do you think this movement is going to be in 2 years, 4 years? Where do you think this is all going to? What do you think this is all going to head to?
Well, hopefully the cleanup of corruption and the weaning off of the corrupt mainstream media. I think we're going to have a period of time where there's, we're going to start to see new media spring up in a different way. We're not going to have, everything umbrellaed under certain, companies and things like that.
Yep.
Ultimately, I think, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but honestly, world changing. Like if we were to see into the future, even 5 years, I think we wouldn't even recognize it.
Right.
In a good way.
Absolutely. No, I agree, because look at everything going on with China right now. It's so clear to me that AJ Barr, he went on an absolute tirade. He ripped into Hollywood. He ripped into big tech, all the American businesses that he was like, can you guys just stop allowing China, stop bowing down to China essentially, and stop letting them run their propaganda in our country without no confrontation at all. It's just being allowed. And it's just crazy because all these countries are getting upset of what's going on, but they're getting upset because what was going on and what people weren't realizing is that's why I remember Q always says infiltration instead of invasion. There was no way another country could come onto land from the sea and try to take over our country, because literally a ton of citizens besides the military own weapons, and these countries know that. So how do we take out America? We have to bleed them out from so many different directions, and that's what was going on with Obama. We saw it with his deals with Iran. China was taking all these jobs. Mexico was taking all these jobs. All of our manufacturing was being taken away from us. And out there in California, it's just like Silicon Valley and a lot of these colleges were literally just basically letting China steal our ideas, our digital property, like all this stuff. And I didn't know any of this stuff was going on. And it's really scary when you think that how long Obama was in office for, and allowing all this stuff to happen, and Antifa allowing to be grown in this country. Because Antifa, those people didn't get here from just a year ago. They were allowed to be here and allowed to rise the ranks like they have in all these Democrat-run cities. So the day that I feel like Q can stop posting, the thing is, like, if Q stops posting, maybe we'll come to a day where we don't need Q. That's where I'm at with it. And we won't need to have Q to wake people up, because I feel like at this point, like you said, there is a new media coming in right now, and what we're doing now, and especially why I commend Methods, he's really trying to push other channels to get together, show a united front. and just let everyone know that we all have different channels. We all kind of do our own thing on our different channels, but ultimately we have the same goal and we all want the same thing. And it's really good for normies and people that are waking up to see that as well. So there is a new media, and it's just really exciting to be a part of it for sure.
I think although we're kind of like little, newborn baby deer and finding our footing, even if Q went away immediately, I think we would still be okay. It might take us longer to get there. And I'm hoping that there's still more part of the plan that involves Q dropping knowledge on us and helping to guide us, because who doesn't want more help?
Right.
But ultimately, it really is up to us. That's the whole thing. They could have easily just shown us everything. Literally. They could have cleaned it all up and showed it all to us and, made some blockbuster movie about it and literally had actual footage of some of these dirty, rotten things that have been going on. And but the whole point is, we can't just have another hero come in. We are doomed to repeat the same issues if we don't clean this up ourselves. Right,
and that's a perfect point, because what's the difference between Q and someone else telling us what to think, compared to as, okay, we're gonna ask some questions and you're going to think of it on your own and you're going to learn on your own and go through it yourself and learn yourself. I think that's the most important thing, and that's really what turned Q on to me, because I grew up my whole life in the church being told what to think, what to believe, and all this other stuff. And really what turned me on to Q is the whole entire idea of free thinking and all that stuff. So, which brings me...
You know what? I just want to make I'm sorry. I just want to make a really... Because I feel like this point is really important. You just made me think of something.
Yep.
Oh, obviously we all like to speculate about who Q is, and people have all kinds of crazy notions and like exciting things. And I know I've had my own theories about who Q could possibly be, especially once Q said, just wait until you find out who you're talking to here. So I think that got people really excited. The beauty of Q is that it is a nameless, faceless entity that uses the Socratic method for us to find information ourselves. So even some of these people that are out there claiming to be Q or be a part of Q team or have started Q or whatever, when people start getting wrapped up in that, I literally tell them it doesn't matter. I don't really look into those things, because not only does it not matter who Q is,
right, but
once you put a name and a face on it, then you have a source of finite information that we all just have to accept. So it's better if Q doesn't have a name and a face. And look at the progress we've made with this method. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. Because what would be the difference, right? Besides a mainstream media outlet, the TV telling us, or somebody that we know on a computer screen telling us what all this stuff is. There's no difference. There is absolutely
people would turn them into a hero, and then they would just literally accept everything they say.
Right, exactly. And that's why I laugh when people keep saying that Q is a cult and all this stuff. And we're literally the furthest thing from, I'm like, tell me a cult where literally the leader says you guys can think whatever you want.
Exactly.
It just blows my mind. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but I digress. But it leads me perfectly into the subject here. Now, you just got Q'd not too recently. What was that like? How was that?
It was really crazy. So I've always kind of said that obviously, like, who doesn't want to be Q'd? But once my account started getting big, then I started to kind of let go of getting Q'd a little bit, because I know that part of the reason that Q, they've even said it, part of the reason that Q will Q people is to like give people boosts and link us together and, make this community bigger and stronger and connect us more, because that's what's good. So obviously there are a lot of big accounts out there sharing important information, and they'll get Q'd from time to time. When everybody was doing the oath videos, and Q was posting them like crazy, it almost made me not want to do it, because I didn't want it to be like I was asking for Q to draw attention to me, or like I liked who they were drawing attention to. I loved that whole thing. Was just, I watched those videos with tears in my eyes. I absolutely loved it. But I finally felt like they were encouraging us all to do it. So I did put my oath video up, and I went to the gym, and I was actually on the phone. I got off the phone, I had all these notifications. And so my first thought was that my oath video got Q'd, because Q had been doing those, but it wasn't. So here's something interesting. the post that Q posted, like the tweet that Q posted, was somebody else had posted a video that Dan Scavino made. It's super cool. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I don't even really know where you can find it. I know that Dan Scavino posted it on his Parler. Yep. But it's just a very powerful video. And the song, oh my gosh, sorry, hold on. How do I make this go away?
Oh, that's okay.
I have my do not disturb on, but I'm still getting phone calls. Okay, so I'll call you later, Q.
Yeah, there you go.
So now I lost my train of thought.
Dan Scavino video.
Dan Scavino. Okay, so the video. So the song that's used in that video is it's a different version of a Linkin Park song.
Yep.
And when I retweeted the guy who originally posted it, I made a comment about the song does not go unnoticed.
Yep.
So not only Q could have had just posted the original guy who tweeted it, but instead they posted my retweet of it. So I feel like it was almost a confirmation. I mean, not that it's necessarily a confirmation, but obviously Q knows what our theories are on this and what people are saying about Chester Bennington and what was going on and what actually happened to him. So I feel like if we were off on the wrong track, they wouldn't fuel the fire by pointing that out.
No, it was really cool because I talked to Methods and I talked to a bunch of other people, and it was just really cool. Like when you got Q, we were all like, "Holy shit, Kate finally got Q!" Like it was weird. It was weird seeing Q do a retweet. That was strange. That doesn't. They've done it before, but it's not something they normally do, and that's why I thought, like you just said, like me growing up, Linkin Park was still to this day one of my favorite all-time bands, and that was before even before I was woke. I saw them live a bunch of times. I loved Chester. I loved his voice. I knew he had gone through hell growing up. But then when I started getting into this stuff and learning about what him and the other what's his name, the guy from Pearl Jam,
Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell from a million different bands, but Chris Cornell.
Right, and he was working with him with child trafficking, a documentary and stuff, and like all these stories of Chester being the son of John Podesta and all that stuff, and seeing how close they look like it blew my mind. And then that's why it was so cool when I saw your tweet and it said when you said the song didn't go unnoticed, and then I'm like, what is she talking about? Then I listened to the tweet and I'm like, I almost started crying because one, I have a huge emotional connection with Linkin Park and Chester alone, and then knowing he supposedly killed himself, which I don't believe at all. But hearing that rendition of that song played over that video, I don't usually get emotional, but I started to cry a little bit. And I'm like, this is such a hat tip to you and to the children out there and to what Chester and all these other people were working on. It was just a perfect subtle hint of what a confirmation. It made me feel good that Q does know what we're talking about, and it confirmed that yes, these things are actually happening and we are aware of it. And hopefully one day we're going to get that redemption that we all want for these people and the people that are causing these things to actually pay for it. So your phone must have been on fire. It must have been on fire when it happened.
I looked at my phone and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, I know. I got cued last December, December 23rd. It was 2 days before Christmas, and I was on the couch hanging out with my son watching TV. And all I remember is my phone in my pocket, and my leg literally, it felt like it was on fire. I thought I was getting sick, but it was my phone that was heating up because it wouldn't stop vibrating. And I look at my phone, I'm like, oh, cool, a Q drop. And then I see Woke Society's there, linked there. And and again, another story where I was crying, but I almost started to cry because literally that same year I just started this channel, and me getting Q'd was like the ultimate validation. This is what I need to be doing right now. And really what helped me spring forward to take this channel full time. But I just remember just feeling so much gratitude and just the love from the community in general. And that's what I don't think people realize when they come to this side of things from the left side. We are just one big happy family, and we will support anybody. And I think you've probably seen it with the liberal girl with the blue hair. I don't remember her name, but she had her
Judith, I think.
Right, Judith, and she couldn't believe the outpouring of love and support that she received from people and what she was waking up. And it was just so cool to see a younger person to go through that and to be red pilled. It's just really amazing. So that's why I thought it was cool. We have 2 people on here that have been queued. Not a lot of people have happened. I mean, it's just really, really cool. And it's just a awesome honor to have that happen. So I'm hoping one day we'll maybe when after Trump's president, we can all meet him one day. They get all the people that got queued and we all can get one big happy gathering together and talk about all this stuff. I think maybe hang out with Dan Scavino. I think that'd be really cool.
That it's like my dream. It's my dream to have this like end of the deep state party and just
right.
all be together and like hug. Part of me is picturing that ending scene in what is it, Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
With like the awards being given.
Right,
and
right.
just like and like the party afterwards with the Ewoks. Can we just get a party with Ewoks is basically what I'm saying.
Right, exactly. Like how cool would it be like you got your Trump's behind you and he's got like a Q medal and he's putting it around all of our necks and we just go party hard after that. I think that would be so cool. But all right, let me hop over the chat real quick. Let me take a look. All right, guys, we're at 2,300 viewers. You guys are amazing. Again, hit the like button, share, subscribe. Tell everyone about this episode right now. Get it out there because YouTube's certainly not going to do it for us. So hit that like button. Go to Kate's Twitter and YouTube. Go like, go follow, go subscribe. So, Kate, we got about like 12 minutes here. It's absolutely flying by like they always do. I'm going to hop over to qmap.pub and I'm going to take a look at. Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up before we do that?
Nope, not necessarily.
All right, cool. Let me hop over here real quick. So guys, yes, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops here, 7 drops. Holy cow. I did not know, Kate, they were going to be doing this on today. I mean, I should have figured. I know when we talked before, it was like, oh, cool, it's the 17th. But of course, Q's been silent since what, the 2nd? And now we have all this going on. So essentially what's going on here, Q keeps talking about, I don't know if you're able to bring the drops up so you can look at them too. Okay, cool. Let me look here. I know 4581 and 4582, they're talking about, this is more D-class and more notes about Peter Strzok. And essentially what they're saying here is that the FBI actually started their investigation the day Trump was into office. And those notes just came out now. So we have that going on. I didn't get a chance to really look at everything else that Q was dropping in regards to that, but it just seems like to me, like, these more and more D classes coming out and more of these warrants are going to be coming out. And on top of that here, let me just look at one other thing real quick before I jump ahead. I'm looking at the Washington Times drop 4582. Yeah, this is her Crossfire Hurricane Unit watched Trump the day he took out. Okay. So yeah, they're just basically saying that the FBI was aware of this investigation and was happening way before anyone originally thought. And I don't know how Obama and company get out of this at this point. I don't know what they could possibly say at this point. And I think they're still waiting to bring Rob Mueller into the Senate for a Senate hearing as well. So what do you think is going to happen with all this? Do you think all these people are going to, do you think they're all going to be indicted before the end of the summer? What do you think is going to happen with this?
I don't have a timeline in my mind because every time I get a timeline, I get burned. You know, we get hopes and dreams and whatever.
Yep.
But the important thing is that I'm seeing all of the pieces on a chessboard line up. They're all getting there, and it's like, you know, it might not be checkmate time, but I'm seeing the progress.
Right.
And you really do have to be looking for it at this point because, like I said, we're not going to get the big flashing signs.
Right.
But I'm with you. I don't see any way that they would get out of this. Everybody is waking up way too fast.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think there's any way of coming back from this at this point. And I think too many people are going to see how much, especially the media right now is absolutely on fire. The New York Times is on fire right now. I don't see how people can literally go to the news anymore and say this is a reliable source of information, especially when a lot of people still don't even know this stuff's happening, which is still crazy to me. But a lot of people are gonna catch up right at the tail end of things when the hammer gets dropped and when we actually see people get arrested. But between this and I think we're gonna find the truth out about COVID as well. I think between those things, people are gonna be upset, people are gonna be pissed off, and this is why I try to tell people, like, I don't deal with trolls on Twitter, and I'm sure you deal with your own trolls as well all the time in DMs and God knows how much. anyone that has a big account knows what we go through, but I just ignore them at this point because, again, fighting with anybody on Twitter and anything else, I mean, it's really, to me, it doesn't ever go anywhere. I want this information to come out naturally and organically and then let it speak for itself, because it's just wasted energy at this point. But I tell people, when they start waking up, when they start realizing these things, we don't want to be the ones that say, we told you so. I know it, especially for me, and I'm speaking to myself too. I want to say that so bad, but we have to be the ones that get these people out of the ocean and onto the boat. So I would love to know what your thoughts are on that.
I'm with you in that. I mean, I don't even really know if it was ever our job to sit and argue with people and kind of drag them across the line into understanding. But I certainly, if that ever was our job, it certainly is not anymore. There are far too many of us. Right now, it is just about planting seeds and just being out there. Look at the difference between what we see underneath the tweets of people like Obama, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, all of these people. Once upon a time, less than 2 years ago, most of what you saw was, oh, gee, that's great, blah, blah, blah. Now you just see like memes and, all of these things. And it doesn't even really matter if you have like the perfect infographic or the perfect retort. Just the fact that people who are sleeping go to that tweet and see all of these people hating on this person or making fun of them, right. They're going to think, wait a second, why is this person getting hated on so much? And something's going to shift in them. Right. And all of those combined, and all of us out there doing it and making ourselves known, we don't have to we don't have to attack people. We don't have to be combative. We don't have to be aggressive. We can have fun. Like literally just have fun. Don't waste your time arguing with people. Don't give yourself that energy. Don't give them that energy. Just keep it light and keep it moving. Have fun, baby. Like
that's it.
Like things are ramping up.
That's why I got my notifications on for you, because you drop some hilarious memes. I don't have the time to be looking for memes, but you drop some pretty dank memes and they get shared and they get stolen. I can promise you that. They're really, really good. But but that's what we have to do. That's why in most of my videos when I start out, because usually everyone's working, everyone's miserable, the news is negative every day. I start out with a funny video about making fun of Joe Biden. We got to keep it light. We do in a way, when Q said we have to take, what did they say? Be safe with the news. That's not what they said, but handle with care. Use with care, right? That's what they were trying to say. So when I heard that, I'm like, okay, we have to be better than the fake news. We have to be careful what we share, but at the same time, we have to also deliver this information in a way that people will digest and hopefully laugh a little bit. That's at least my philosophy on it anyways.
I mean, meanwhile, think about it. If you're looking at this group of people that claims to be like awake and like enlightened and understanding it, if they're all out there just arguing and look miserable, does that look enticing? No, it's better if we're out there joking around and having fun and,
Right, exactly. We want to be that light to them, and we don't want to scare people away for meaningless infighting on social media. It gets nowhere. Let me see what other drops we have here. We have 4584. They're talking about the CDC data, COVID-19 actually lower than reported. Why did select D governors mandate nursing home positive inserts? Election, not virus, when by any means necessary. And Kate, the weird thing was too, right before I quit my job, I worked in Rockland County, which is the county just above Westchester in the city. And I was in a nursing home seeing these positive patients being rolled in to the nursing home that I was at. And I remember asking the doctor, are these people sick? And he said, most likely, yes. I'm like, well, why are they coming here? And they said simply Cuomo mandated it. And that's all he would tell me. And I remember running into a family member there that had somebody in that nursing home, and they wanted to take them out, and they refused this person to come out. They would not let them take their family member home. And unfortunately, I found out later on, my last time I was there, before I quit my job, that person the family was trying to get died from COVID, supposedly. So I couldn't imagine. And me living in New York, I can't stand Cuomo. He's the biggest I want to say really bad things, but he's between him and de Blasio, what I saw in the city, they let that city be destroyed. And right now we have an absolute exodus, because I live probably about an hour away from the city. There are people from the city leaving in droves, buying houses up here, because even those people are seeing the light now, and they're like, they don't want to be anywhere near it. So I'm really curious to see what happens with these Democrat-run cities, because and that's why I always say too, if you see a police officer, just thank them, because I don't know how any of them, especially in these Democrat-run cities, can do their jobs. They're getting completely neutered. They can't do anything. They can't do their jobs. They're more liable to lose their jobs than the criminals getting arrested. It's insane right now. So let me just take a look here. 4585. It says, how do you provide cover for invalid positive test results? Think pawpaw. And I remember it was like, what was pawpaw? And that was the fruit that the fruit
that tested positive. The guy tested it. It was the president of not Tunisia. What was it?
Tanzania.
Tanzania.
Yes. Yep. I remember that.
Tested a goat and a pawpaw fruit, and they both came back positive. Pawpaw positive.
Right. That's what. And this was a New York Times article, of course. But in regards to that Florida one, I don't know if you saw that story. They were talking about how they were saying everybody was 100% positive on the COVID test, and then they went back and looked at it, and it was only 9.8%. So it's like. I've never trusted any of these numbers.
Math is hard.
Yeah, right. I'm terrible at math, but I know their math is worse than mine because I haven't believed any of this for 1 second. It's awful. Let me see here. Let me look. 4586 says, how important is Florida 2020 election? One lab equals possible human error. Countless labs equals deliberate. So this is the thing, guys. We don't know everything that's going on. There are so many operations that we don't know. We're probably never going to see. And this is an example of this. How do we know who's running these labs and what kind of motivation do they have? Who are they following politically? Like who benefits the most? And we all know that question. But the biggest one, the scariest one I want to end here with you tonight is 4587. And we kind of talked about this off camera. This one's a little scary, ladies and gentlemen. It says COVID-19 narrative kill date, election day +1. Now, I don't know if that's 1 day or 1 week or 1 month. I'm not sure. I hope to God it's not a year. It says prepare for 0 day, and this is in the kill boxes. Massive cyber power attacks and attempts are also in the kill boxes on 11.4. Now, the internet's been jacked up today, apparently. I haven't noticed on my side of the country over here. Everything seems fine, but apparently the internet's really messed up right now. But from what this sounds like, Kate, to me, is that there's going to be some kind of internet shutdown possibly, or an internet kill switch that's going to happen. It looks like they're saying 11.4. Now, we know how Q operates. We know that they put out disinformation sometimes. So this could possibly, I always keep that in the back of my head. But would it surprise you that what if Google shuts down all these social media places shut down? And what if they scrub everything and then we're all here stuck at ground zero again with no profiles and we're starting over? To me, that's what that sounds like. But I would love to know what your thoughts on that are.
Those kinds of ideas always freak me out too, but I really do believe that patriots are in control. I really do believe that. So some of these things are just attempts that they know that they're going to make. Part of it, like COVID-19 narrative kill date, election day +1. That kind of reminds me of, like, did you ever see the meme? You know that meme of like the SUV driving down the street and the girl being shoved out?
Yes.
And like people.
Yes.
So I have one that's like the media, and then it's like coronavirus, because that one came out like a few days after the riot started. Yep. Suddenly, like, you weren't hearing about that anymore because they didn't need that boogeyman. They had another one.
Right.
So in a way, it could just be Q pointing our attention to their tactics like that, that they would, only keep it going for as long as it was benefiting them. And they're using it, we know, for political reasons, to make Trump look like he can't handle the country, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely. And I just want to let people know too, like, if I do believe Trump's going to win. I don't see any way that he doesn't, but I just want people to know when and if he does, things aren't going to be peaches and cream as soon as he's reelected. It's going to be easier on him personally because he's not going to have to worry about being reelected. But I don't want people to think Trump gets reelected and everything's going to be just fine. Like, there's still people in corrupt positions now that Q is still working on. And I don't know exactly who, but I know they're still out there. They keep dropping the swamp runs deep, and they're saying that for a reason. So I want people, all my listeners out there, just to have a realistic expectation of what is to happen. Because like I said, once he gets reelected, there is still so much work to be done. This man has had to deal with countless investigations, all this negative press. There is literally nothing this man can do that take the easy road and do because of what he's up against. So it's going to be a really, really interesting, what do we have? 3.5 months till November, 4 months. Like it feels like it's forever from now, but I know when he gets reelected, I'm going to be on a live stream probably. I think it's on a Tuesday night, which I normally do a live stream. I think you do too, actually. We're all going to be on each other's live streams, drinking and celebrating when he wins. So
yes, absolutely.
I think that'll be fun. But Kate, I want to leave you with the last word here. And if you got anything in response to that.
I just wanted to say that I know that it gets tiresome. We're all waiting for these big things to happen, and it seems like it's out there forever. But I think right now our focus should be, no matter what, we need to put everything we have into these next 3.5 months to get this president elected. Even if you are not fully on board and don't totally understand, you have to at least get that no matter what, if we get that other guy as our president, we're screwed, no matter what. At least let us prove to you that these things are happening. Like, don't you kind of are you not entertained? Because I am entertained.
Oh, if we're never.
So we just need to get this man elected, and then maybe we could take a break if we
Absolutely,
feel like it.
because this is why I keep saying we're never going to have another president like Trump again. The way he is, the way he attacks the media, the way he's so ballsy on social media. Maybe I'm hoping because the Trump name will carry some weight now. Maybe Junior will run. Maybe Ivanka will run one day. I'd be totally cool with that. We still haven't had a woman president yet, which I still think we're going to see in our lifetime, which would be totally awesome. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what happens. So that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me throw some music on here real quick as we close out. Thank you guys for joining tonight. That hour flew by. So what you guys can do right now, again, everything is in the links below. Go subscribe, go follow Kate at the Kate Awakening. It's a name you cannot miss. Obviously, it's a great name. I love it. It's so easy to market. So go check that out and go subscribe, guys. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And I'm not going to have time for questions. It's going to be way too long. You guys are going crazy over here. So we hit 2,300 viewers, though. That's a great number for a live stream. Excellent, excellent. So a lot of people are going to see this, Kate. So hopefully a lot of new people will go and see you. And if you see Woke Society sent you, you know why now. So there we go.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, guys, we're going to head off here. I have an episode that'll be out tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Of course, we're going to be covering all these Q drops in depth. I didn't really get a chance to look at them. I was hanging out with my family before the show. So we're going to dive deep into that tomorrow and get into all that. So be on the lookout for that, guys. So as I always say, stay safe, stay warm, and stay woke. Have a good night, everybody. See you later. All right, Kate, that was it.
Awesome. That